Yeah! All right. So my name is Michael DeLu. Today is Thursday, October 20th, 2022. This is episode 105. No, it's 106. 106 of Pull Up the Tape. And I'm really excited to be doing this podcast right now. We had a little technical difficulty, and apparently I didn't press the record button the first time I recorded this podcast, so it is what it is. I'm going to just record this bitch again. It is what it is. That's dedication. Hey, it is what it is. So with that being said, I'm going to just jump right into today's politics. So yesterday was a very important day of the year. It marked the first time that there was a full slate of NBA games. It wasn't just the two primetime games that I covered yesterday, but it was, I believe, 10 different games happening various times throughout the evening. So I'm really, really excited to talk about some of the big games that I feel like hold, and that's one of the things I like to talk about the most. I don't like to talk about teams that I don't feel like are going to make the playoffs. So I only talk about teams that I feel like will make the playoffs. So two of the teams, there were several matchups with teams that I feel like will make the playoffs. The Nets played the Pelicans. The Suns played the Mavericks. The Heat played the Bulls. The Cavaliers played the Raptors. But I'm going to talk about today the Pelicans beating the shit out of the Nets 130-108. And before I actually get into the Pelicans beating the shit out of the Nets and beating down these niggas like they fucking stole something, beating on these niggas like they were the older brother, beating on these niggas like, ooh, I was going to say some shit, but you know what? Let me not say that. But I want to give credit to where credit is due. In order to build a successful team, a successful organization, you have to have people that know what they're doing that are calling the shots. And what I mean by that is a competent head coach and a competent GM. When you have that, when you have those two things that are working aligned and working towards the same vision, success will follow to some sort of degree. All right, so Willie Green this is his second year being the head coach for the New Orleans Pelicans. Last year, they were kind of in like this, a weird transitional period. Zion ended up missing the whole season, so it's like, okay, are we tanking? What are we doing? And then, midway through the season, before the trade deadline, they ended up acquiring C.J. McCollum, and that catapulted them to eventually end up making the playoffs. They made the playoffs and tested the Suns, winning 2 games out of their series and losing to the Suns in 6 games. And, everyone could only, and they were hard-nosed, they were gritty, they were defensive, they were scrappers, they were rugged, they didn't back down to any sort of team, and, they pushed the number 1 seed to 6 games. So, people could only help but wonder, what would this team look like with the healthy Zion? Well, yesterday we seen what the fuck it was going to look like with the healthy Zion, and they looked fucking incredible. So I want to give shout out to Willie Green for just bringing a winning mentality and installing the right mindset into these players, and getting a system that gets the best out of all the players that he has on his roster. And then also I want to give props to David Green, the general manager. David Griffin. I'm mixing these two. I'm mixing these names up. David Griffin deserves a lot of props. He's a good GM. Honestly, I never in I don't know how many years did I see that the Pelicans would be this competitive, this fast, and be in a better position at presently constructed than the Lakers. I didn't think that was going to happen. They traded Anthony Davis to us 3 years ago and have bounced back and now are a competitive team within the West. They're not Western Conference contenders. I think best case scenario that the Pelicans can make the second round of the playoffs, depending on the matchup. They can make the Western Conference Finals. Who knows? But we'll see. So let me get into what happened on the hardwood. Zion Williamson played his first game in 17 months. The last time Zion played a game was May 4th of 2021. And yesterday, Zion had 25 points, 9 rebounds. Just looked like a fucking and one of the things that I just respect about Zion is just he talked about it in a pregame interview. He kept all the receipts. Like, he heard everything that people said about him. And rightfully so. But my thing with that is, I'm happy that he kept the receipts. I'm happy that motivated him because, man, there was the question marks the questions that were being asked of him. In my honest opinion, I didn't feel like they were wrong. I felt like they were valid. Zion has not played a lot of basketball since he's entered the NBA. He has not played a lot of basketball since he's entered the NBA. And some people were looking at, the Pelicans extending him and giving him a $250 million contract over the next 5 years as, I don't know, a big risk, which it is. It is a big risk. But not because he's not good enough. No one has ever questioned what Zion can do on the hardwood in between on the court. When Zion gets on the court, he's going to look like a fucking animal, a man amongst fucking a fucking dog. That's what the fuck 25-9 in his first game back. 25-9. This nigga hasn't played a real game in 17 months. It's almost a year and a half. 25-9. Might I add, he was blowing. Ben Simmons was his prime. No. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Zion looked like a fucking animal, and no one's gonna question his when he's healthy. When Zion is healthy, you know exactly what you were gonna get. When Zion's healthy, you know exactly what you're gonna get. No gimmicks, no nothing. He's gonna get a man amongst boys, a fucking animal who's gonna dominate his fucking whoever is in front of him. Whoever is in front of him. Whoever is in front of him. And that's what he did yesterday. Brandon Ingram, 28 points yesterday. Looked like a nigga. Pretty much picked back up where the fuck he left off. Looked like a nigga. He was out there hoping. And pretty much what those two players showed me is, man, Zion Williamson is, if I'm not mistaken, 22, 23. Brandon Ingram is, 25, 26. And what they showed me is, man, hey, this duo is going to wreck the league. They are going to they're going to be a problem. CJ McCollum poured in 21 points. And the Pelicans had 5 players that scored in double digits, including Jonas Valanciunas and Trey Murphy. And just overall, it was a great win for the Pelicans to get a statement win on the road against a team that a lot of people think are going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. I personally don't, for various reasons. Overall, great win. They executed on both ends of the floor at an efficient level, at an elite level, on offense and defense. They out-hustled the Nets. They out-rebounded the Nets. They out-willed the Nets. They out-executed the Nets. And honestly, based on what I saw last year and just understanding the growth that players experience typically in most seasons, specifically young players, man, the ceiling for this team, I feel like at the very best they could get the 3 seed in the West, at 3 to 5 seed in the West. I don't see them being a playing team again. No, and I definitely think it's very, very possible for them to make it to the second round of the playoffs. Shit, maybe, who knows? Maybe even the Western Conference Finals. Because I mean, I'm more than positive nobody saw the Mavericks make it to the Western Conference Finals last year, and they did. So, with that being said, I'm really, really excited to watch the Pelicans moving forward and see what they have to offer for the season this year, because, man, they're going to be a fun team to watch. Now, let me get into the fucking Nets, because I just don't understand how the fuck you could come out on your season opener, your home opener, and get smacked by 22 points. You get dubbed by 22 points. Not the Nets. I'm just throw out some figures that just is going to summarize how piss poor the Nets were yesterday. The Nets gave up 36 second chance points while only scoring 4. The Nets didn't play with any toughness, any mental. They didn't play mentally smart. They didn't mentally smart. Mentally, they were out of it. They were fucking weak on both ends of the floor. They gave up 21 offensive rebounds. 21 offensive rebounds. What does that tell you? They got out-hustled, out-muscled, out-hearted, out-everything. 21 offensive rebounds? That's a lot of offensive rebounds to give up, especially in the first game of the season. The only player that looked decent, not even decent, the only player that looked good, because KD looked good. KD made plays on both ends of the floor, even blocked met Brandon Ingram at the rim and beat and swatted his shit. He had 36 points. He looked good, but he could have been better himself, and he said it in the post-game interview. Kyrie Irving was not efficient whatsoever. 6 of 19 from the field. He had 15 points. That's not good enough. Benjamin David Simmons, this nigga Ben Simmons, in his first game since I don't know when. In his first game since like fucking June of 2021, because he missed all of last season. In his first game in like fucking 15 months, this guy played 26 minutes, had 4 fucking points, was 0-2 from the free throw line, and fouled out. Not only is that not fucking good enough, that is fucking terrible. I just can't. I have to repeat this shit. This nigga Ben Simmons, in his first game with the Nets, had 4 points, fouled out with 6 fouls, and went 0-2 from the free throw line. Not only is that fucking not good enough, that's fucking horrible. I repeat, this nigga Ben Simmons, in 26 minutes, had 4 points. He fouled out and went 0-2 from the free throw line. Not only is that not good enough, that is fucking terrible. The Nets and the notion that this team is just going to walk into the, like, wow. How are they going to win? I just don't understand how. The offense is supposed to be dominant. They were mid. The defense. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. The defense is horrible, horrendous, ass cheeks, terrible. This defense is, bro. The Nets are going to rank, oh, my God. And this is exactly why I just don't understand where this notion that the Nets are gonna go deep into the playoffs. Yo, how are you gonna go deep into the playoffs? You can't guard anyone. How? Last year their defense was ass crack. This year, what changed? What changed? What changed about the Nets? What did they get? I just don't understand. I don't understand. I do not understand. The best defender is Kevin Durant, and he's also their best offensive player. So Kevin Durant is not going to be like Kevin Durant is in his mid 30s. There's no way you expect me to believe that Kevin Durant is gonna have to drop 30 every night and then be a defensive anchor or be one of the best defensive players for the Nets. That's not realistic. That's not realistic. No. Ben Simmons fouling out, that's fucking unacceptable, my nigga. Unacceptable. That's fucking terrible, bro. I don't know what the fuck. I don't get it. That's not good. No, that's not good. I just the notion, and this is what I don't understand about some of these pundits and some of the shit. What makes anyone think? Because Kyrie Irving and fucking Kevin Durant. Boy, stop it. But honestly, piss poor fucking performance by the Nets. I just don't understand how you could come on and put together that type of performance as your home opener. That's fucking terrible. No. No. Not it whatsoever. Defense, horrific. You're not going anywhere with one of the worst ranked defenses, and you give up 130 points in your first game of the season. Yeah, right. And people, don't dig too much into it. No. Their defense was terrible last year. It's going to be terrible again this year. And what is that? That's a recipe for a mediocre team. You'll fuck who you have scoring buckets. So the next game I want to talk about is the Suns beating the Dallas Mavericks. And man, I remember I was sitting at home and in my bed watching highlights of various games only to get a notification that the Suns somehow, some fucking way beat the Dallas Mavericks. And I'm sitting here looking like, wait, how the fuck did they come back? These niggas, but last time I checked, they were down by 30 fucking points. And this game literally was the definition of a tale of two halves. For the Dallas Mavericks, they looked incredible in the first quarter. Oh my God, that nigga Luka was cooking up that Luka special. That nigga Luka was cooking that Luka special. Christian Wood looked great. Tim Hardaway was back and healthy, which is a great sign to see. Spencer Dinwiddie was getting buckets. So, man, and as I'm watching this game, in my head, I'm like, ain't no fucking way. The team that was the number 1 seed in the West came out in their home opener
to play against a team that handed them the worst loss I've ever seen in NBA history. The worst loss. This team, they came out and played horrible in the first half. Horrible in the first half. Horrible in the first half to a team that not only ended their season, but was beating them by 40 points in the first half of a Game 7 playoff game on their home court. And when I was watching that, I was just like, you know what? Honestly, maybe it might be time for the Suns to move on from Monty Williams. Because honestly, at this point, I'm starting to think, maybe this man has peaked. His scheme is weak, whack, terrible. The starters came out flat and simply got outplayed, had no energy, no hustle, no heart, no nothing in the first half against a team that beat the fuck out of you the last time you played a professional game of basketball in the same arena. This team, they were getting, not only were they getting they got 40 pieces the last time, they were getting dubbed. They were getting beat by 20 in the first half of this game. So at the end of the last two games the Suns have played, they were down by 40 and they were down by 20 to the same team. Explain. That's not a red flag. That's not a red flag to anyone. Come on now. That's fucking unacceptable. That's unacceptable. And I just don't understand how that's possible. And then what made it even worse, when Monty Williams took out his starters because they were flat, had no energy, whatever the case may be, he brought in his bench. The bench was fucking terrible. Oh my God. Their bench is what made the lead what the lead was. Bench was terrible. They have no playmaking, no shot creators. The bench is just trash as fuck. As I said, this game was a tale of two halves because in the second half, the Suns, I don't know what the fuck was said in our locker room or whatever the case may be, but Suns came out with a lot more intensity, started stringing together stops, went on several runs, and were somehow able to win the game. D-Book, 28 points, 9 assists. DeAndre Ayton, 18 points, 10 rebounds. Damian Lee, in the second half, came off the bench and was hitting big shots, especially in the fourth quarter because, they benched the fuck out of CP3. And, in the second half and in the fourth quarter, the Suns picked it up on the defensive end, honestly, and were able to string together enough stops to where it made sense and where it allowed them to win the game. And for the Mavericks, I mean, I don't think they should dig too deep into this. It is what it is. They lost. I mean, they played good majority of the game, but unfortunately they ran out of you could definitely tell it was more about the Mavericks choking the game away than it was anything the Suns did. The Mavericks definitely took their foot off. They should have fucking stepped on their ass like they did in the last game they played these niggas. But hey, because I'm gonna keep it a band. I do not give a fuck about the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns can suck my dick, truthfully, respectfully. But just really, 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 really good to see basketball is finally back and in full motion. And y'all know like how. Oh, I mean, a lot of people don't really give a fuck about, the NBA regular season, but whatever the case may be. But I love this shit. I mean, it gives me a lot of content to talk about. And at this point in my YouTube process and YouTube journey, consistency is, I know I'm good at this shit. People enjoy listening to me speak, but I just need to be more consistent. Like, people need to know, okay, there's a big game. Michael's going to be reacting to all the primetime games moving forward for the rest of the season. All the Tuesday games, all the Thursday games, all the Friday games, all you know what I mean? Like, all the good games, Michael's going to be reacting to all of them every single time on this channel. So that's what I'm trying to get into, and that's what I'm working towards right now. With that being said, that's going to conclude episode 106 of Pull Up the Tape. With that being said, my name is Michael DeLu. I don't know. It's crazy. One thing I've noticed about myself, I love to say with that being said and, so on and so forth. It seems like those are my favorite quotes or whatever you want to call it, and whatever the case may be. But with that being said, my name is Michael DeLu, and this concludes episode 106 of Pull Up the Tape. Long live my brother. I miss you every single day. Everything I do moving forward is going to be to keep your name alive and keep your legacy alive. I love you, and I miss you every single day. Long live Kobe. Long live Gigi. Long live Nip. Long live Pop Smoke. Woo. Long live Mac Miller. Long live Boy. Free Chef G. Free Pooh Shiesty. Free the whole YSL. I'm out this bitch.